welcome to WMCA Zoom Edition. I'm Grace Alvier.
And I'm Maggie Latino. Today, Mount Carmel Academy students educate us on the pandemics of the past, show us better things to do than being on TikTok, and give us some positive news.
But first, the coronavirus pandemic is responsible for killing more than 28,000 people worldwide as of March 28th. Here's an update to how the virus has impacted Louisiana.
For updates on coronavirus, go to cdc.gov or visit Johns Hopkins University's website.
With the virus impacting everyone in some type of way, I'm curious if something like this has ever happened before.
It definitely has. Here's a look back at the most recent pandemics the world has faced.
As we keep in mind and pray for all citizens of the United States during this COVID-19 pandemic, let's also keep in mind the rest of the world going through this crisis.
For example, Italy's been one of the most affected European countries by far. MCA's own Ashley Gallagher's uncle is a resident of Rome.
She recently spoke with him about the virus and what Italy is experiencing right now.
Buonasera, sono Pietro Domenico Bertucci, ho 65 anni, sono sposato, ho 2 figli, 2 nipoti, vivo vicino a Roma e come tutti gli italiani sono preoccupato per questa situazione, questa emergenza del Covid-19. Ciao ciao.
When asked what Italy is like right now, Pietro responded, "Italy right now is a tragedy. It is like a war. As of March 22nd, we have 53,578 positive cases, 42,681 infected, 4,825 have died. Of this, 793 died only yesterday, the 21st. The average age is over 80 years old, and more men die than women. These numbers were officially released March 21st, and unfortunately increased day by day." I also asked him what adjustments he has had to make. He says, "Our life is totally changed. We must stay at home. We are allowed to go out with self-certification that will be verified by the police to buy food, medicine, assist elderly people, take the dog out, and other essential needs. All jobs, factories, non-essential industries are blocked. Only the food, pharmaceutical, agricultural, and zootechnical industries work regularly." I asked what Pietro was doing to pass the time. He responded, "We are fortunate to have the opportunity to breathe fresh air, sunbathe, work in the garden or terrace, do some exercise. You have more time to devote to yourself and your family. Simple, essential things are rediscovered. In these days, I'm doing the jobs that I had long postponed due to lack of time. I try to take the positive side also from the situation, waiting to return to normal life, to embrace my 2 grandchildren who I haven't held in my arms for exactly 20 days. Despite all the struggles Italians are facing right now, the Italian spirit remains strong. Italians join together to sing and create music on their balconies. Here's a clip from Pietro.
Francis delivered the Irbi et Orbi on Friday. The Irbi et Orbi is a special prayer to help end the coronavirus pandemic. This prayer is so sacred that it can only be said by a pope and is usually delivered on major religious holidays. Pope Francis dedicated this prayer to people infected by the coronavirus, those in quarantine, family members, healthcare workers, and people who've risked their lives to help coronavirus patients. The prayer was delivered in the empty St. Peter's Square, which is at the Vatican, during the pouring rain. This prayer was live streamed across the world on different social media platforms so everyone could feel blessed by this extraordinary prayer. Pope Francis reminded everyone that, especially now, it is important for people to remain faithful to God and continue to pray for healing.
With all of the craziness going around in the world and the news, it's easy to miss the positive events happening around us.
Here's Ava Hellstern with an update on the good God has blessed us with this month.
With school closings, home quarantines, and social distancing, it can be easy to get wrapped up in the sad and stressful events that we see on the news and social media every day. Here are some positive things that have happened this month that you may have missed. Over the past few weeks, there's been a large influx of pet adoptions and foster families taking in dogs from shelters. Over 500 animals have been helped by volunteers across the country. Animal shelters went to social media asking for help because of a lack of resources and help from volunteers and workers. Almost immediately, there was a huge response of people who wanted to help. The shelters have set up a type of drive-through system for the foster families and adopters to pull up their cars with their paperwork that they have from online. They are given their animal along with food and other supplies. This has made a big impact on shelter businesses and the animals' lives. Around the world, major environmental improvements have been occurring. The canals in Venice, Italy are the clearest they've ever been in over 60 years. The locals are staying inside and tourists are not coming in, which means there's less boat traffic. The boats in the canals usually bring sediment to the top of the water surface, causing it to look murky. The water clarity has been attracting animals like swans, fish, and dolphins. Also, the air pollution levels in China have plummeted as a result of strict quarantines and travel restrictions. And finally, aquariums across the country have had to get creative with how to keep the animals occupied and active while they are closed to the public. Caretakers have been letting the penguins that they have go on little field trips around the public areas of the exhibits. They really love wandering around and looking at all the different creatures. That's all for this week's Positive News Update. Until next time, back to you in the studio.
Hey Maggie, want to go get food after this?
What are you talking about? Isn't everything closed?
I didn't think everything was.
I don't know. Let's find out.
Basically, since we're all under quarantine right now, there's a bunch of places that are closed. So I drove around to figure out exactly what is and isn't still open. Alright, first up is Chick-fil-A, which is closed. Well, sorta. You just can't go inside, but you can still do a mobile order or go through the drive-thru. And there's a lot of other food places doing this, like Starbucks and Pacino's. Okay, so next we headed down to the mall, which is also closed. And that includes all of our favorite stores like Lululemon, Sephora, PacSun, Francesca's, you name it. But hey, Dillard's is still open. And in addition to Sephora, Ulta has also closed all of its stores, but all of these places you can still shop online. Then we went to the gym. I think there's still some that are open, but I know that Planet Fitness at least is closed. Okay, so a lot of places are closed, but there are some places that are still open. Like Main Squeeze, I literally just know that because I work there, but yeah. The dollar store is still open, go get some nice stuff there. And of course, all grocery stores and drugstores are still open. Alright, and last thing is the park. That's still open, so if you want to go outside or anything, I don't know, you can go there.
As the last segment showed, the pandemic has crippled the economy and even forced the federal government to pass a $2 trillion relief package to help people get through this difficult time.
But some companies are getting creative to keep customers coming back by giving back globally and locally. What have you been doing to keep yourself busy?
Really nothing. Staring at a wall, reading a book here and there.
Wow. I think I need to give you some tips on how to pass the time.
Hey y'all, it's Maddie Corjay. So my segment is about my family and how they are keeping busy during the coronavirus and just some tips and tricks that they have for you. So enjoy.
We are Maddie's aunt and uncle.
And I am Madison's papa.
And I am Maddie's Aunt Jay.
What are your tips and tricks for getting through coronavirus?
Yes, I'm trying to stay focused on the positive.
Well, we are spending time in the yard.
I stay busy with my chores around my home and yard.
We also, what's it going to say?
Enjoy crossword puzzles and
Jigsaw
puzzles and
trying to get some fresh air, so I went and walked my dog.
Gardening helps me pass the time, while I also enjoy caring for my chickens and wild birds.
I have a granddaughter who is a year old and they live in our neighborhood.
I gotta go to
Fight it.
But neither does Abby. I've been getting her trainer. She looks so smart. Take a picture.
We walk by and pick her up in the stroller and take her for a walk once or twice a day. Anything else you want to say?
well, I browse through the paper daily, so I am aware of what's going on both locally and nationally and internationally.
Try to keep your spirits up.
Right. Try to keep our spirits up by doing so.
Okay. Bye.
Okay.
Let me just say that my heart goes out to all of you seniors. There really are no words, and you will be stronger for this. Just think, you're making history. Never has happened before. Class of 2020 will go down in history.
You ever get hungry going through TikTok? All those TikTok recipes look so good.
Yes, they look fun to make, but I never have the time, or I just don't want them to fail.
Well, here's a how-to and a rating for a couple of those TikTok recipes.
you and I are working here today is evidence of that.
Well, that's all we have for this week's show.
We'll see you same time, same place next week. But remember,
Go out and make the news, because the news is you.
Used to power over adversity and keeps her strength in God throughout hard times. She started her journey at MCA as a math and relations.
Bonjour, c'est Dr. Gouday for Grubbing with Gouday. Today we're going to do a special dish from France, which is called